Have you ever felt completely lost? I mean, where a single worry or maybe a regret just gets so big it feels like it's a world unto itself? Well, today we're going to explore this really fascinating idea about an inner compass that we all possess, one that can actually guide us through those overwhelming moments. This quote, man, it just hits you, right? It perfectly captures that profound sense of dislocation, that feeling where it seems like the world just doesn't have a space carved out for you. And that feeling, it almost always starts from the inside. Isn't it just the strangest thing? You can have the entire world at your fingertips, but one single painful memory, one little regret, can shrink your whole universe down until you feel like you're suffocating in that one thought. And that, right there, is the core of what we're digging into today. This idea that our internal state, our pain, our worries, can get so massive that the actual physical world around us starts to feel impossibly small and confining. You can try to run from it, right? You can pack your bags, change your city, your job, your whole environment, but that one feeling, that thought, it's a stowaway. It comes with you. You can't just unpack your boxes and leave it behind. It's part of you, and it follows you absolutely everywhere. So when we're trapped in that headspace, what do? We start grasping for answers. Our minds start racing, and we begin asking these huge, fundamental questions about our lives, our choices, and our destiny. We start playing back the tape, don't we? If only I had done this differently. We start to wonder about the power of faith and whether we can actually change the path we're on, especially when it comes to the people we love. Now, the source material we're looking at proposes this really fascinating answer to all those questions. It's a concept called Latif. Think of it as a kind of inner technology we all have, something designed to help us navigate these exact moments of turmoil. So what exactly is Latif? Well, the source describes it as our set of spiritual organs. It's a cool way to put it. Just like your heart and your lungs are physical organs, these are innate faculties that we all have, and they're designed to help us sense and connect to a reality beyond just the physical stuff we see. Okay, check this out, because this is where the idea gets really interesting. The source maps these spiritual senses directly onto our physical ones. It suggests we have this whole parallel system for perceiving the world. For instance, Shaika is the spiritual sense of desire, while Saika is our sense of direction. Then you've got Isharat, which gives us insight, and Sunuhat, which provides inspiration. All right, so let's zoom in on the two most important of these spiritual senses, because they're the ones that work together to shape every single decision we make, from what to have for breakfast to, the huge life-altering stuff. So here's how a choice gets made through this lens. It's basically a two-part process. First, you have Shaika, that's the engine. It creates the desire, the impulse to even act in the first place. But then Shikaya, the rudder, kicks in. It intuitively steers you toward the right option, even if, on paper, it makes absolutely no sense. And doesn't that just explain so much? You know that powerful gut feeling you get? That strong pull towards a person or a path that your logical brain is screaming no at? According to this idea, that's not your brain making the call. That's your saika, your spiritual rudder, guiding you with a kind of deeper wisdom. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Our source gives a critical warning. This inner guidance system isn't guaranteed. It actually requires maintenance, and this is where the advice gets super practical. The source makes this crystal clear. These spiritual organs are just like muscles. It's that simple. When you exercise them through things like prayer, self-reflection, doing good for others, they grow stronger. But if you neglect them, if you only feed them with worldly distractions, they weaken, they atrophy. And this is such a powerful metaphor. Wow. We all get that physical healing takes time and effort, right? A broken arm needs rehab. But the source asks us to really think about our spirit. If it's been neglected for years, just wrapped up in a cast of distraction and materialism, how much rehab does it need to start working again? To really drive the point home, here's another analogy. Think about a boxer. If they keep taking hits to the same eye over and over, eventually they're going to go blind in that eye. Well, constant exposure to negativity, to cynicism, or just flat out ignoring your intuition, it's like taking those same repeated blows. Eventually, that spiritual sense, your ability to feel direction or inspiration, it can just die out. So this brings us to the bottom line. What are the ultimate stakes here? What's the real cost of letting this inner compass break? And what's the profound reward for taking care of it? The answer? Well, it affects everything. The consequences are twofold. Here and now, in this life, it leads to that constant feeling of being lost, of inner chaos. But in the afterlife, a soul with these weakened spiritual senses is described like a smartphone without a SIM card. It's a brilliant analogy. The phone still works, it has all its functions, but it can't connect to the main network. It can only experience a tiny fraction of the reality it was built for. But on the flip side, if we do the work, if we nurture our latafe, the reward is this deep, unshakable peace. We start to trust our inner compass. We stop agonizing over every single decision because we feel guided. And we start to accept that we're on the right path. And that just brings an end to so much worry. So it all leaves us with one vital question to ask ourselves. We're so careful about what we feed our bodies. We're deliberate about how we train our minds. But what are we doing for our spiritual senses? What are you feeding your inner compass?